Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Julie. Welcome to another podcast for our Body MD series. We are continuing to learn and just think about the ways that a healthy mindset helps us achieve our goals. In doing this, we want to understand more deeply what parts of our thinking or mindset can give us a big boost toward achieving our best physical and emotional health. So today I want to focus on exploring some key behaviors that can get in the way of us creating new habits or creating new behavioral patterns that are needed to achieve optimal health. The key behaviors that I want to talk about today are procrastinating and avoiding. These are huge topics in the field of psychology and big topics I've worked with clients on for years when it comes to helping people make significant changes to their behaviors in a day-to-day way. So today I want to help us think about a few ways that procrastination and avoidance can get in the way of making great changes. And then, of course, we want to think about what we can do about it. So first, you may notice that there are days or weeks, even months, where you persist with old habits and you neglect thoughts and a deep-seated desire for change. Maybe you've experienced times with your health goals where you know what to do, you know what you need to do, like you know you need to exercise or engage in some physical training today. But before you know it, you've had multiple conversations with yourself, just in your own head throughout the day, talking yourself out of doing these things. Perhaps sometimes you talk yourself out of it because you didn't feel like you had enough time to do a fully planned workout. Or perhaps you missed a certain group exercise class to train, so now your ideal plan is gone. And so you talk yourself out of doing anything simply because you can't do the full perfect plan that you had in mind. If you ever catch yourself in these type of conversations in your own mind, you might be letting procrastination and avoidance get in the way of getting started or even getting more immersed in your new plan. So I think it's important that we realize that procrastination, it's a funny thing. It's something we all engage in at times when we convince ourselves that unless we're doing something perfectly or unless the conditions are perfect for us to start or unless we're all in, we convince ourselves that there's no sense in starting at all. Or maybe sometimes we've started, but we procrastinate on making day-to-day changes where we follow through with being as physically healthy as we can because we tell ourselves, well, today's conditions just aren't right. So today I want to challenge you to not get to the end of your day and then realize that, hey, there were multiple times that I talked myself out of exercising, or maybe I talked myself out of eating in a healthy way simply because I couldn't do it to perfection or I couldn't do it in the way I originally had planned. I want us to consider that if we can just take steps every day in the right direction, that can be enough to change our mindset and to start to notice more lasting change. Doing something is so much better than doing nothing. Avoidance kind of really falls in this same bucket. Many times it's just natural for us as humans to avoid doing hard things. But one thing I've seen over the years in my work and in doing different forms of research is our brains are so smart when it comes to avoidance. Our brain seems to be able to keep track of things that we avoid, and then it remembers it as something that, must be really unpleasant or really hard, because it knows otherwise we wouldn't have avoided it. Then the problem is that once we've avoided and our brain knows this, an even more challenging circumstance arises. Have you noticed that the more you avoid something, the more dread that pops up when you actually think about doing it again? Or maybe instead of experiencing a thought of dread, maybe when you try and think about something that you've been avoiding, you experience a bodily sensation. Maybe like a little nauseous, a little pit in your stomach, or even tension that you feel in your jawline or your shoulders when you have the thought of needing to get busy with that goal or task that you've been avoiding. So I want to challenge you today. I want to challenge you to notice where there may be goals related to your physical fitness that you're avoiding. Where are there things that you know you need to do today to get fully on track with your health goals? Think broadly here. Maybe it's getting an app ready, a technology ready, so that you're ready to track your exercise, or you want that app to lead you in a fitness class. Maybe it's an appointment you need to make to consult with a health professional or to schedule some tests that you've been avoiding. Is it perhaps putting off sitting down and figuring out a healthy menu for the next few days and shopping for that food? So take a few minutes today and decide, where am I avoiding or procrastinating related to my physical health goals? And with each thing that you're noticing that this could apply to, I would love for you to just set aside 5 minutes today, just 5 minutes. Even just set your timer on your phone. Just a few minutes to come up with a doable, realistic plan to address the avoidance or procrastination in that particular part of your life. Decide that now that I have my awareness raised about these patterns that aren't helpful with procrastination and avoidance, decide that I'm going to become what I like to think of as an approach-oriented person instead of an avoidance-oriented person. Be disciplined with yourself. There will be no conversations with yourself today where you allow yourself to avoid following through on a health goal. You will not allow yourself to justify taking some steps today simply because you can't follow through in a perfect way with your entire vision. It doesn't matter. If you only have 25 minutes today instead of an hour to get your workout in, great. Remember, doing something is better than doing nothing. Seeing yourself as an approach-oriented person instead of an avoidance-oriented one is huge. We want today to go in the column of success with getting your exercise in, with taking steps toward healthy eating. We want you to come to see yourself as someone who approaches challenges, not as someone who procrastinates and avoids. So in this last moment, let's let those thoughts sink in. Notice how your body, notice how your emotional state both feel different when you can adopt the mentality of, I'm a person who approaches goals, not someone who procrastinates and avoids. My success today does not need to be perfect. My steps today need to show that I'm making progress towards seeing myself as someone who follows through, someone who makes healthy choices, and someone who is capable of putting old patterns behind me. So as I think about that shift in mindset, I'm excited for you as you practice this today and in the days ahead. Wishing you all growth and deeper understanding of yourself.